Okay, so I've done a couple tests already about the displays of all four of these phones. I've done a test for maximum brightness and minimum brightness, but for the maximum brightness one, I've done it only with auto brightness off. Alright, I'm fighting with someone doing some yard work out here, so if it gets a little loud, I'm sorry. But here's the thing. So all four of these phones, I've done a maximum brightness test and a minimum brightness test. For both the maximum and minimum brightness test, I've done them indoors. The only difference here is a lot of you have commented and said if I did a maximum brightness test with auto brightness on and did it outdoors, I would get even higher results. So let's test that out and see if that's actually true. I'm having a really hard time looking at the camera and seeing what's actually showing on screen because it's hard to see because the sun is directly on all four of these phones. Like right now, all four of these phones are on at their highest brightness with auto brightness on. I'm gonna go ahead and pull a white background up here since that was the highest brightness I was able to achieve when I did the maximum brightness indoor test. Okay, so all four of these phones right now have a white background showing. It might not show on screen, but trust me, they're on. The sun is actually baking on these phones. These phones are like super hot now. I will be using my light meter to conduct these tests. All right, let's start this. And what I'm gonna do is, this is the HTC 10. I took all the other phones, I put them on the side so I know they won't be interfering with the sensor. $456 for the HTC 10, and now for the G5. Well, that's not right. Why is it showing such a low reading? The phone is at 100% with auto brightness on. Let me turn auto brightness off just to make sure that I'm not going crazy here. So I'm turning auto brightness off. Back at 100%. Well, something is not right. I'll get back to that one. Let's do the S7. 532 is the highest I got. I was actually getting around 700 indoors, and the Nexus 6P. Nexus 6P is 557. Okay, so I ran the test twice with the LG G5 and I was coming up with the same results. It was a really low lux, so I'm really not sure what's going on. Now I just have a web page on here, and if I'm gonna try to test the lux on the web page, let me just see what numbers I get. Like around the white area here, I'm getting something around the 400s. On the G5, it's very low. Like in the 130s, 140s, but it's still legible, which is a little weird how I'm able to read it still pretty well, even with such a low brightness. On the S7, on the white area here, I am in the 500s, and on the Nexus 6P, I'm also getting a reading around the 500s. Interesting. I'll probably have to do a little more testing because it's a little confusing on how this is working. I didn't expect the G5 to have such a low lux rating even after turning auto brightness on. The mystery continues. Sorry for the spots earlier on the camera. If you notice it in the video, I didn't see it because I was outside in like the bright sunlight and I couldn't even see my screen at all. Now it's been about an hour, the phone's been sitting. I really don't know why it was showing such a low lux light meter reading, whatever you want to call it, earlier, but maybe I thought something was wrong because it was just sitting out in the sun. So I'm back indoors. I'm gonna test it just indoors and see what the brightness is at, see if it'll go higher than the 180, 190 I was getting. So I put the screen back on to 100%. And I'm back using the white screen, the white background that I downloaded. Let me adjust this so we can take a look at the light meter. Okay, so now I'm back at the 400s. I don't know if it was the sunlight with the ambient light sensor that was keeping it at a lower brightness, but I'm about to go head back outside and try it again, see if there was a fluke, see if something messed up on the G5, really not sure. All right, so I'm back out here in the sun. The G5 right now is showing the white background. It's at 100%. All right, auto brightness is at 100%. I don't know if you caught that. It was showing really bright and then just dimmed out. There you go. Did you see that? It jumped from like 300 to 700. Now, I don't know if it's because of the ambient light sensor and it's not catching it properly, but I'm not showing high 100s anymore. I'm showing like around the 300s. Why it was showing in the high 100s earlier, I have no idea. I don't know if it was because it was sitting out in the sun and it was doing something weird. That I can't say. There you go again. You see the flicker of white? And now I'm not even touching it, so I'm just letting the ambient sensor do whatever it needs to do. It's in pure brightness. I'm not like overshadowing it. The camera's not overshadowing it. It's just sitting out in the sun. I don't know. Weird.